Jeez Louise, a bunny just jumped right out there, scared the... Oh my goodness. These animals, I mean, the owls got me this morning. I think that was on camera. And then Dennis is screeching up there like a crazy person. Now I got a prairie hare just looking at me like I've, you know, trampled into his living room. Oh my gosh. I definitely got PTSD from the screeching. Anytime there's something in my periphery, like it's a little bird or even a bug, I just start to, you know, get to the shakes, but that's okay. We're out here, we're having a good day. There we go, so we got a nice dump of hail there. There we go, as quick as she comes, she's gone again. So that was a little bit of a unusual prairie storm we had there. Unfortunately, we did get hail, and the baskets down here you can see behind me are all shot. Just yesterday I was filming a video, probably came out last week or whatever, of watering these guys and giving you a little first look at them. And now they are just all pummeled right down to the leaves, but that's okay. They're resilient, they will bounce back, and they had a lot of added moisture, so it was just in a solid form this time, which is not ideal, but that's okay. So I was actually working up in the sunflower field as I was watching this storm come in, and I was able just to get out of the way in time. And you always hope and pray that it's not hail, but today we got hail, and that's okay. So I'm going to go up to the sunflower field and see what we have left of them. So let's go up there. Our poor little honesty stand got blasted too. These lilies are looking a little worse for the wear. Looks like they got shredded. There we go. But our daylilies held up pretty good. They're still looking pretty good. Oh, my sign got erased. See the hail down in the soil there. One thing that I actually do like about the hail is it makes everything smell so green and fresh, you know, all those poor pummeled plants and trees. It does smell really good after a hailstorm. Alright, so just got back up to the sunflower field and had a quick look. Everything looks to be decent, you know, not too bad. It's always so hard and it's so frustrating when you have just a 5-minute storm come through and completely set everything back. We were hoping to open up, you know, a week or two early with our sunflowers, but they're going to have to recover from this storm, and that might take 7 to 10 days. So that'll push that whole thing back, which is a bummer because, you know, this is how we make money. And that's, you know, 7 to 10 days of revenue that is off the table now, but that's okay. You know, gardening isn't easy, especially where we're at. And more than anything, you know, I think it's just having an appreciation for what, you know, the Mother Earth gives us, and just knowing too that she can take it away, right? It is frustrating, but that's just the way she goes. So I'm going to do a little bit more walking around here just to see how things are going. I'm not even filming today, so I don't know how this will fit into the video, but I was out here weeding in the sunflowers and just got chased in by the storm. But yeah, it's humbling for sure, you know, but that's okay. Everything's looking decent, and no one was hurt. There doesn't seem to be any damage. The trees look good. The birds are singing. I don't hear Dennis, which, you know, not that I wish anything bad to him. I hope he got out safe and didn't get too pummeled by the hail, but that's okay. So let's go have a look, I guess, through the field here. There we go. So quick walk through the garden here. Everything for the most part seems to have held up pretty well. So a lot of leaf damage, which we expected, and I'm quite confident, you know, there's still a good month left of our summer here. I'm pretty sure everything will bounce back. It's really vigorous. Plants, that they know how to survive. They're gonna be okay. They're gonna be stunted, and we'll see that when we come to harvest, just how far behind everything will be. So that's okay. You know, gardening out here, farming out here, it's not for the faint of heart. And if we stop doing what we're doing out here just because of one incident or one calamity, you know, we'd never do anything, because you never know. You might get hailed out, and maybe you're not going to get any rain, and that's another problem too. So You just have to learn to adapt with whatever you're given and do the best, make the best of it. So now we have a lot of moisture in our field, which is great. Everything is just going to suck that right up, and I think we're going to get a lot more vigor because of that moisture. So yeah, you got to take the good with the bad, right? So yeah, I don't know where we are in a video or what's going on here, but I am going to get back to weeding, I guess, because that's something positive that I can do. So I'm going to yeah, end it there. Bye, guys. Good morning, everybody. I hope you're having a great day today. My name's Cody, and I want to thank you so much for stopping by today. All right, check out the hollyhocks here real quick. I am about 6 feet tall, and this guy goes all the way up here. He's got to be, you know, close to 8 feet tall. They're doing fantastic this year. They're just such a pretty flower, aren't they, the hollyhocks here? Oh, and there's Dennis. He says hello. There we go. Then we have these guys over here. We've got black, white, yellow, and pink. They're just such a beautiful flower. Well, welcome back, everybody. If this is your first time here, welcome to the farm, and thanks for spending some time with me today. It's going to be a busy day today. Pretty sure you can hear Dennis over there. He's saying hello. Oh, there go the owls. Holy smokes, it's crazy over here today. Anywho, we have a lot of work to do today. There's a lot of work out in the garden that needs to be done. It's been slow because of Dennis. He keeps me out of there for most of the day. And anyway, I've got a bunch of stuff to do in there today. So let's go get into the garden and get that taken care of. So before we get into the field, I guess a quick update on Dennis and what I've discovered this past week here. So I went over to where he's at, and I think I figured out that there's actually a mated pair there, and they do have, it looks like, one baby. He's very young yet. He looks like a mature bird. You know, this time of year they should, a mature hawk. But he's still their baby. And anyway, I was over there, oops, sorry, and kind of figured that out. So it makes sense that they're still protective. It's a little weird that they're this protective, but that's okay. I have adapted. I have a tent now that I use that I weed under. So I'm going to get that tent set up in the garden and get some weeding done. Okay, there we go. So tent's all set up. Now it's been kind of nice, you know. If it wasn't for Dennis, I never would have thought to get a tent out here. And not that it's too hot, you know, I think the hottest day's been around 30, which isn't terrible. But it sure is nice to have a little bit of shade protection out here on those long days, you know. So if it wasn't for Dennis constantly trying to attack me, I never would have found this solution. So I have to thank him for being him, I guess. Coupled with the hail, everything is really set back. But from what I can see, everything seems to be bouncing back really, really well, which is a good thing. So we got really good soil, it has lots of moisture now. Now that I've got my tent system figured out, I'm able to keep up again with the weeds. So all in all, everything's starting to come together. I know the sounds now when Dennis is standing quietly in the trees behind me versus when he's up in the air, and that's an up in the air sound. Our sunflowers, guys, look, they are starting to bloom. How exciting is that? We've got, yeah, just thousands and thousands of these heads forming. They're all just about ready to burst with their color, and I'm so excited. It seems like forever ago since the last crop went in, and we had our sunflower photos, but they survived the hail and they're doing really well. One thing, I guess, that I'd want to mention, if you're looking to do something like this at home, or you've got a property that you want to do like a sunflower field or anything like that, with the hail that we just had, a lot of these took damage. You can see with the leaves here, just full of holes. A lot of the heads broke off too. So the variety that I've chosen, I'm sure it's called Gold Rush, but it is a branching sunflower. So even if you were to take off this lead head, it has at every junction a new head to come in. So it doesn't necessarily matter so much if they get damaged. There's a lot of them that the deer chomped off just when they first started to sprout. And from there, they've branched up into dozens of heads. So the variety that I chose, like I say, is a multi-branching variety. It's not a single stem. If you had a single stem variety and you lose that leader, the flower is done for the year. You're not going to get a second follow-up, most likely. So with this variety, the multi-branching variety, it's a really good safety net in case something happens, whether it's animal related or weather related. So Gold Rush, I believe, is the name here, but it's been bulletproof for us. It's also a really good height, so I'll stand up here, but cuts my head off on the camera, but that's okay. So I'm 6 feet tall. These flowers will get a little bit taller, maybe up to 4.5, 5 feet mark. So when you're looking to do a field of sunflowers for photography, you don't want something that's going to be 8, 9 feet tall. The angles are going to be really weird with that, and you're not going to really get that effect of the sunflowers. Something around the 4 to 5.5 foot mark is really ideal for photography, we found anyway. And the multi-branching is great because when this bloom is done, it'll fade off, but there's 7 or 8 other blooms that will take its space. So you can plant them one time, and then for the entire season, once they start blooming until freeze up, you'll have a beautiful yellow carpet. So there we go. So just a few more rows left to weed here. I do have a volunteer sunflower, which I just don't have the heart to pull. So he can stay here and shine on. It's definitely shading out some of the dill here, but we've got plenty of other dill to kind of take over for it. So I don't know, do you guys ever get garden volunteers that you just can't seem to pluck? This guy is definitely one of them, and I think it'll be worth it. But anywho, I'm going to get these last few rows weeded, and then we'll move on to the next project. Okay, there we go. We got most of the weeding done that I wanted to get done for today, so that's fantastic. Dennis has left us alone, which is great, and yeah, I'm happy with where everything is right now. So we just found out that there's an opening in the dog parks, which is great, because one of the parks is just full of holes, whether they're gopher holes or the dog's been digging holes, doesn't matter. I need to go fill those and get on with it. Say what you will about weeding, but I always and truly believe that it certainly beats a regular day job. Fantastic. I weeded this whole garden this past week here in and out of getting attacked by Dennis, and I just wanted to show you guys the absolute power of some of these weeds. So this is the amaranth that we deal with out here, and I thought I pulled it, and I don't know if you can see or not. This is the root structure here, all underground. I pulled this thing completely out except for one little point right there. And this plant is still green, alive, and healthy. And it's been like this probably for 4 or 5 days. Hasn't rained at all. Just goes to show you the true power of the weeds in your garden. And just their ability with such a small contact point to rob your plants of, water and nutrients and all those sorts of things. So super, super important to make sure that you weed your plants. And we'll get this guy out there completely. So just with those few little bits of root in the soil, this plant was able to sustain itself and very likely would have gone to seed. So just a cautionary tale, something to look out for in your garden. But there we go. I think we're pretty much done. Let's keep going. So we got all the holes filled in the dog park, so that's good. It's going to be a lot safer for all the pups to run around there, not going to hurt their legs in holes. The last thing I want to do to round out the day is move some of these old bales and actually use them as mulch in between the rows for our sunflowers here, for people to walk on. It also makes a really good layer of mulch, so it helps keep the moisture in and the weeds down. So I'm going to go do that in some of the vegetable rows right now, and yeah, probably just use that to round out the day here. So the garden, I think, always looks so much nicer after we get a fresh layer of straw down. Now this straw I did keep for 1 year out in the elements, just to give it a chance for any of the leftover seeds that are in there to germinate, and then they die off over the winter, so that way there's fewer seeds that are going to be able to germinate from this straw rather than if you used fresh straw. A little thing, not a big deal, but that's just what I did here. And I always think the rows look so much nicer once they get that good layer down. Give the vegetables here a chance to grow up through the mulch, suffocate the weeds a little bit, help keep the roots cooler, retain a lot more moisture, and all in all, it's just a great thing for your garden. It looks good and it's good for it, so it's a win-win. And yeah, the day went really smooth. Dennis back here, he made a lot of green choices today, so that's always a nice thing. I didn't get swooped on once today, which is huge. Normally it's, you know, dozens of times every day, so I'm really proud of that bird back there. He's done really well today. And so I've got a little bit more mulching to do here yet, but I'm going to wrap up the video here, guys. So I want to thank you so much for sticking around with me and hanging out with me today. I really do appreciate it. Last week's video just blew up. I don't know why, but it's fantastic to see so many new people and seeing what I get up to. And if you enjoy it, that's great. You know, that's I always say this for me is just a creative outlet to kind of document what I'm doing. And if someone else finds enjoyment out of that too, then that just makes it so much more meaningful for me. So that yeah, just want to thank everyone for hanging out with me. But that's where I'm going to leave it, guys. So have a great day with whatever it is that you're getting up to. And until next time, guys, we'll see you later. Bye now. Dennis says bye too.